How you guys doing?
Good.
I feel like we're being baited to talk or give up something here.
Welcome to Couch Football Between the Cushions, Episode 9. As always, you've got Luke and Ryan hosting. Ryan,
Hello.
do you want to introduce our guest?
Dude, let me tell you about our guest. We've been wanting to have him on all year. We are talking about the analyst that is on the pinnacle of all the other analysts here. His predictions this week should all come true. And I am, of course, talking about Rover's Mecidor.
Thank you. I really do appreciate being here. I have been looking forward to it all year and definitely am excited to be with you all. Thank you for the warm introduction.
Robers, no pressure. I will let you know that we get a whole one viewer every week.
I think we got 4. No, we got one guy that actually...
One guy that we do not know personally watched our video.
Hey, that's more than
Appreciate it,
some
man.
Alright. We are heading into the Divisional week. Got 4 games we're going to break down and get into. Wildcard was interesting. Before we get into that, though, let's check in on the news team.
News team, assemble!
Doug Peterson was fired by the Philadelphia Eagles. Shocker to you guys?
It seemed interesting, but not really. They have a losing record.
You could see it coming.
They missed the playoffs.
Not to mention the fact that with the whole quarterback debacle and the news of teams, players like having issues with them, it kind of seemed like it was writing in stone.
What do you think about Wentz saying he's fine staying in Philly now?
Deflecting blame.
That's going to be interesting to see what they will have to do with Jalen Hurts, because a lot of people see Jalen Hurts really improving the offense. Some people still see like Carson Wentz still has that potential, but what do you do?
Right.
I don't know.
Further news, Chuck Pagano, Bears defensive coordinator, is retiring.
Is it Pagano or Pagano?
I don't actually know.
I think
Yeah.
I've heard Pagano.
I think I've heard it both ways.
It's not an attack on you, Luke. You know, we're just trying to
just saying.
sort it out for the viewers.
That's just news for us Bears fans. Well, Robers is a Vikings fan, but...
Always. Skull white. Skull.
You're just going to out him like that? Okay.
Yep. Hey, we're Bears fans. It's not much better. Zach Moss is out for the remainder of the playoffs. So, that's about all I got for news, unless you guys have anything you want to throw in.
If you guys haven't heard, apparently some players from the Dolphins anonymously are saying that Tua may not be the guy in Miami. So,
is this referring to the Deshaun Watson trade talks?
some people are kind of pointing towards that as well.
That would be interesting. Okay, so we'll get into a wild card recap. The NFL's first double-triple header is in the books now. It really should have been called the Week of Upsets, as the Browns upset the Steelers 48-37, the Rams upset the Seahawks 30-20, and the Ravens beat the Titans 20-13. Outcomes that we didn't really see coming, except for Ryan picking the Rams to beat the Seahawks, just because he wanted to disagree with me and Caleb.
No. I was all about the Rams, and I tried to get you guys to listen to me, but you guys weren't going to hear it. So I was on an island by myself. And it turns out there's buried treasure on that island.
We'll see what happens this week.
Okay.
Anything you guys want to talk about specific to the wild card weekend?
No. Games are pretty interesting, at
Yeah.
least. High scoring, so they were fun to watch.
Except for the Nickelodeon game.
Dude.
Surprisingly, a lot of people actually enjoyed that.
Dude, we should probably give a shout out to Heineke for the...
He was
very
very
impressive.
good. He looked very poised in the pocket, and probably his contract is up at the end of this year. Probably gonna find himself at least a backup job. Maybe the Bears. Who's to say?
So Taylor Heineke started for the Washington football team. Came from the St. Louis Battlehawks, though, right?
Oh yeah, the XFL.
Let's go, Battlehawks!
I didn't look into that.
I'm pretty sure that who was it? Pat McAfee said something about the Battlehawks recruiting the QB recruiting because they had Tiamu and then Heineke. So,
I did not look into that. I knew. I knew of Tiamu.
Yeah.
I mean, who didn't know of Tiamu? I mean, just a
But
very, very special talent.
he was amazing this weekend, and we know he can fly. Dove like 5 yards.
That was a very impressive touchdown. I think the fact that they were able to keep it at that close to the Bucks was really impressive. Both on the defensive front, to try and maintain it, but also on the offense to actually try and score as much as they could have done.
Bucks are a top 10 defense, so
For sure.
It seems like the way you beat Tom Brady is by putting pressure on him. That's how every team has beat him this year that has beat them.
Right.
And, the Washington football team they just have the best I think they're the best front seven in football right now, and that's all I can pretty much say about it. It's crazy. Yeah, it was an interesting week. We do have a big man shout out.
Are you a big man? Huh? I'm talking to you.
I remember this.
We do. Actually, I want to make sure I have the right player because it's like a third-string defensive lineman, right?
More or less.
Hang on, I'll find it real quick.
Okay. While you're finding that, I just want to say for the...
Hang on, I found it.
Okay. Then I'll shelve that. Maybe for next year.
Was a Mr. John Jenkins, defensive tackle for the Chicago Bears, picked off Taysom Hill on a play. There we go. It was actually legitimately hard to find that because they do not put interceptions in defensive tackle stat lines for most websites. You have to dig deep to find them. Ryan, what do you want to say?
I wanted to say the Bears Saints game. I was rather saddened by Wims dropping that TD. But just in general, as a Bears fan, it would be nice if the Bears would score more often. I'm fine losing by the same differential. It's just if they put some more points on the board, being a Bears fan would probably be a little bit better because it feels like you have a shot in the game. So I think we should put our horse in the race, as it were, for Jameis Winston. Might throw 30 interceptions, but as long as he throws 30 TDs with it.
What is with your man crush on Jameis Winston?
So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Bears, it was a little poor showing. It was kind of who was it? Graham left after scoring a TD.
Just walked right off.
Impressive catch though.
It was nice.
It was a good catch, but it was a little unsportsmanlike to just walk out. So
That's true.
He did used to play for the Saints. Okay, I think that's going to pretty much do it for the wild card recap. So let's get into division. Rovers, what's 36 divided by 6?
That would be 6.
And Ryan, when is it okay to divide by 0?
You can't divide by 0. It is impossible.
All right, we are talking, of course, of the divisional, which is coming up. We got 4 games. We're going to preview them. First off, we've got the Ravens at the Bills. The Ravens upset Tennessee. Not really an upset. It was going to be a close game. We had them winning on this podcast, but they are now traveling to Buffalo. Some headlines for this one: Lamar Jackson at his press conference this week mentioned that he has never played in snow, and there is a 40% chance of snow at the time of the game. The Bills lost Zach Moss, and they signed Devontae Freeman to their practice squad, who will most likely be playing. Obviously, Freeman was playing for the Giants after Barkley went down this year. I'll just open up the floor to open conversation. Ryan, start with you on headlines.
Headlines? Well, first off, I think the Bills are just going to win the game. Lamar Jackson, if it's going to snow on, what are they playing, Saturday?
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah, if it's going to snow on Saturday, and that means Jackson is probably going to need to throw, because you're going to be slipping and sliding all around in that snow.
Well, that's why you run in snow.
Is that how it works? Ooh.
Relatively. It's more of a running game in snow.
Can you juke in snow, though? Because that is, a lot of Jackson's game.
So they wear bigger cleat spikes in snow normally for more traction, but I don't know about juking.
Okay. Anywho, I would actually think Jackson, if it doesn't snow, if he's able to run, that he has a fairly big game against the Bills. And I think the game's going to be pretty high scoring. I think Jackson and then J.K. Dobbins are going to run all over. But I think on the flip side, Stephon Diggs should play. I think Beasley might be back too. The Bills doing what they do, just pass all over the place. So
Right. So Lamar never playing in the snow it's kind of concerning, but I do think, normally in poor weather they usually run a lot more than they do pass. So I think, and that's obviously the Ravens' strong suit, so I think it's going to be more of a running game, which actually might affect the Bills quite a bit because the Bills don't have much of a run game. It's mainly Josh Allen passing as their offense. But Rovers, will flip it over to you.
So let me ask you this before we actually start. Do you think, the Baltimore Ravens' running back core is better or about the same level as Jonathan Taylor?
better than Taylor.
Yeah, Dobbins over Taylor. I'd say Dobbins and Edwards over Taylor.
Okay.
If you said the whole Colts backfield versus the whole Ravens backfield, I might flip the Colts then. So
Okay.
I'm a big
Right.
Hines guy. But.
Yeah, because, looking at it statistically, the Bills were able to averagely maintain the Colts running back. So, they could probably maintain the same thing with Dobbins. If you kind of eliminate that, they could probably also maintain the game as well. Granted, it wasn't as impressive as you would like, but we all knew, the Bills' defense was not really anything moderately as spectacular as others in the top 10 or so.
Okay.
All right, good
No.
points. I will say Mark Ingram has not been active and was not active last week.
Was he a healthy scratch or no?
He is a healthy scratch. What it is Mark Ingram is a veteran, and he has slid down to the third on the depth chart for them, and he is not willing to play special teams. So they activated Justice Hill because Justice Hill is willing to play special teams because he's a young player trying to make his mark.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why Ingram was not playing. So Ingram may or may not retire after this year, and or he will probably be on another team. I do not expect him to be with the Ravens now, since he has slid so far on the depth chart to the point where he is not even active because they can't keep a roster spot open for someone that's not willing to play special teams. He is 31 years old, by the way.
Right.
Yep. Any other newsworthy or anything you guys want to talk about regarding this game?
Calais Campbell, Marcus Peters for the Ravens did not practice. So,
That's relatively a big deal.
quarterback, defensive end. I didn't go and see if they were expected to play, but they didn't practice today. So
I can't remember if Calais Campbell played last week or not, but I know he didn't practice. So
I definitely think the Bills might have an advantage, even if it's in the cold or whatnot, just because they're more likely used to the cold than the Ravens are anyway.
right. It'll be. Josh Allen went to Wyoming,
Right.
and he's very used to playing in the snow, so he should have the advantage there. But if it comes down to battle of the running games, I think the Ravens are going to walk away with it.
Yeah, I think in that situation they would as well.
So both Campbell and Peters did play last week.
Okay.
So
That's
it might just be resting, but
could be. Calais Campbell's I think he's in his 30s now.
old man.
He's getting up there. I'm not totally sure, actually. I know he played. When he played for the Cardinals, the Jags, 34 years old. Yeah, he's up there. Yeah, it'll be an interesting game. I think it'll be the most entertaining game this week. Should we go ahead and just jump right into the position breakdowns?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay. So we're going to go into breakdowns. We're going to do positions, and we'll go around the table saying who do we think is stronger at that position. First off is quarterback, and I will start. I will say I actually think the Bills are stronger at quarterback this year. I think Josh Allen had an MVP-type season, and he's definitely been better at passing than Lamar. Lamar has the legs, and he's got that athleticism, which is a big deal. And in this game, it might matter more, but I think Josh Allen had a better season overall. Ryan?
Yeah, Josh Allen. If Lamar could pass a little bit better, and I'm not talking on the same level as Josh Allen, but a little bit better, then I would probably take Lamar. So it's close for me, but Josh Allen.
Okay. Robers?
Yeah, by far I would say Josh Allen.
Just because you had him in fantasy?
Not to mention I did have him in fantasy, and he rocked practically every week. Maybe one or two he was down, but I think looking at it statistically, his throws, his running, just his way to incorporate as many of his players as he can has been just such a growth from previous years. Lamar still seems like he's trying to find his groove, and the fact that it's been very difficult for him to incorporate his, like his primary number one receiver has been something that has been lackluster this season.
Okay. So I think that's unanimous for Allen. We'll jump to running backs. Devin Singletary will obviously be playing. Devontae Freeman is expected to be activated off of the practice squad, which he obviously was just signed, so who knows how many carries he'll get, who knows how involved with the offense he'll be. I'm going to take the Ravens on this. Dobbins made the transition. He's the starter. And the Gus bus he's been killing it.
Gus Boost
Recently. And then you'll have Justice Hill. Because as we said, Mark Ingram has been inactive. So I take the Ravens on that one. Ron?
Yep, Ravens. Pretty high on Dobbins, but he hasn't put up consistent numbers. So,
all right, Robers, you make it 3.
Man, yeah, the Bills' run game has been very sketchy. So yeah, you guys have convinced me that the Ravens definitely has a better running game than. The Ravens, has a better run game than the Bills.
So you just not that high up on Dobbins right now, or?
I've been very skeptical of offenses that really don't feature a one back, or where they really try to make a big committee, and the Ravens all season have been like a 3 committee team. I think the Browns have a really good system where they do incorporate Chubb and Hunt, which I do like, but when you start doing 3 or 4, it starts getting very confusing.
Right.
And you don't really know who is really good or not.
Okay. It was an interesting year for rookie running backs, I'll say, because you had a lot of guys that were in like 3-back committees that eventually had to make the transition. Cam Akers, I think, was one of them for the Rams.
Yeah.
Who, I think, like you said earlier before we started the podcast, when he's utilized, he is very good. He had 130 yards against the Seahawks, and that was only off of 28 attempts, so he was averaging almost 5 yards a carry. DeAndre Swift for the Lions is another one. He was sharing the backfield a lot and then kind of made the transition. I would say he didn't make the transition quite the same way that Dobbins and Akers did, but
right.
Rookie running backs was an interesting season for him.
You just gonna forget about Antonio Gibson there?
Yeah, I was gonna think about that.
Antonio Gibson, I did forget about him.
Gibson was doing a committee of just 2 people with him and McKissick, which, and that one, played very well. However, I would say Swift, in a way, did do better in his committee once they actually started featuring him a lot more, until he went down with that concussion. So, T's and P's.
Okay, so we'll jump to wide receivers and tight ends. Rovers, we have these lumped together, by the way. It's not wide receiver and then tight ends.
There's not too many great tight ends.
Yeah, that's true. It is pass catchers as a whole. And on this one, I am going to take the Bills. Stephon Diggs had just a tremendous season. Cole Beasley has been surprisingly reliable. Hopefully they'll both play. And I will say Ravens have the advantage with Mark Andrews at tight end, but I think that the Bills receivers they just outweigh Hollywood Brown and Mark Andrews. So I think this is a tough category, but I am going to take the Bills. Ryan?
Yep, Bills.
All right, Rovers.
You can't forget Willie Snead for the Ravens.
That is true.
He did catch 1 touchdown. But I would definitely say the Bills. Once you get past Diggs, Beasley, you still also have Gabriel Davis as well to catch. And I can't remember their tight end's name, but Josh Allen just... Oh, yeah, Knox. Josh Allen makes it seem like he has infinite weapons. Like, if one person is down, he figures out somebody else.
Yeah, he has been spreading the ball out quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next category is defense. Bills' defense has not been very good this year. I'm taking the Ravens. Hopefully Calais Campbell gets back, but that's pretty much all I have to say on this category. Ryan?
Ravens. They've been one of the best defenses in the league through the postseason and the regular season as well. So expect them to make it challenging on the Bills, at least.
All right, Rovers' defense?
Yeah, I would agree with you as well, with both of you as well, with seeing that the Ravens will probably take this as well. But do you think, another pointer, do you think the Bills will keep trying to score quickly and try to pressure Lamar more so that way they can manage the ball and win that way?
I mean, they're going to be playing a dedicated quarterback spy, as every defense does when they play Lamar. It's tough because you have to take Lamar out of the game in terms of running, and when there's snow on the ground, I'm expecting them to be running a lot with him. So it's really tough to say how they're going to play this game. I guess we'll find out when the game happens. Ryan, you got an opinion on that?
Nah, not really.
It will be interesting.
I said
to
you
see.
get 2 passes.
It'll be interesting to see Lamar, since this is going to be
Used them all
his
up.
first time beyond the first round in a playoff game.
Yeah. Oh, that is true. And I think, so I filled out a bracket, and all the upsets kind of killed my bracket. But I had the Titans over the Ravens, and it was because of Lamar not ever winning a playoff game. And, I mean, he's played 3 total. Now he has finally won one of them. But yeah, congrats to Lamar for getting his first playoff victory. And, yeah. So next category is coaching. And I am a big fan of Sean McDermott. So I am taking the Bills on this one. Ryan, we're going to you.
I'm still taking Harbaugh.
Yeah.
I feel...
McDermott has turned around the Bills.
Yeah, but Harbaugh's been in Super Bowl. Postseason and regular season are two different animals.
A million years ago.
2 different animals. I get it, it goes game by game, but I think Harbaugh is the preferred coach to have in this situation.
All right. Rovers, you're the tiebreaker.
This one is challenging. Ryan does have a very good point that
Oh,
Harbaugh
man.
has gone to the
That means they
Super
didn't
Bowl.
win.
But Sean McDermott has been doing some impressive things. I would say the Colts defense, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, was better than the Ravens defense.
I agree.
And so if they were able to pull out that win, I think they might also be able to do it with the Ravens as well.
All right. So you are taking the Bills?
Yes.
All right. So by that count, we have the Bills taking 3 out of 5 categories. We're going to jump over to score prediction now. I'm going to go close game. I'm going to go one score, 28-20 in favor of the Bills. Ryan, what is your score prediction?
Pass.
You cannot pass.
Oh, man.
No passing.
If there's a lot of snow on the ground, I'm going to say it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to go with 14-10 Bills.
That's a safe bet. Rovers, score prediction?
Yeah, if it is snowing, I'll probably say it is a low-scoring game as well, but I think they could probably push something out. I'll say 28-21 Bills.
All right.
This is a good game to bet on, though, because...
Oh, yeah? You talking some side action right now?
Dude, let me tell you, the Bills are projected to win by -2.5. So if you think the Bills are going to win, I mean, as long as they win by a field goal, you'll make your bet. So
You want to do a dollar bet?
dude, I don't play on that level.
We'll do multiple dollar bets. Coin toss, first points.
I just want to watch the game. I don't, you know.
All right. Okay, that does it for this game. We will jump over to the Bucks at the Saints. So the Saints went 2-0 against the Bucks in the regular season. Ronald Jones did not practice on Wednesday, and I'll open the floor on open discussion. So I've got I think the way to beat Brady, we mentioned it before, is by putting constant pressure on him. And the Saints did it both times they played him. So if they can get into the pocket the same way, they're going to disrupt his passing, and it's going to be difficult. But we're also looking at playoff Tom Brady, who doesn't go down easy. And it is in the NFL, it is very hard to beat the same team three times in the same year. And this is going to be another good game. I think this is going to be the second best game this week. Honestly, out of all 4 games, all of them look pretty good, minus maybe the Browns and the Chiefs. Maybe that's going to be a blowout. But I mean, it's probably Drew Brees' last season, and he's playing for the Super Bowl. He's not playing to get eliminated, so I think it's going to be a good game. Ryan, do you have anything on your heart that you want to unburden?
Let me tell you. Well, first, JPP didn't practice at all, so Jason Pierre-Paul might be out. Who knows? Might just be resting him because he's a veteran. But what I wanted to say is I think this game is going to be interesting for this Saints offensive scheme because you can beat the Bucs through the air, but not through the ground. They have debatably the number 1 run defense in the NFL, or they did throughout the season, and the Saints' strongest weapon has been the running game with Latavius Murray and Alvin Kamara. So Breeze is going to have to start passing the ball to Michael Thomas, Sanders if he's playing, and then Jared Cook. So it'll be interesting to see their offense kind of flip, because I think it has to. If it doesn't flip, I see I see this as one of the games that you could have an upset. You could have the Bucs beating the Saints.
I see it that way too.
So if they stick to the run game, I feel they're not going to have much success against the Bucs.
Okay. Robers, the floor is yours.
Yeah, both defenses are very impressive. So I guess it comes down to the quarterbacks in this case. What can you do through the air? A lot of skepticism has been thrown at Breeze with his shoulder. Tom Brady has been shaky. Sometimes he plays amazing, other times he doesn't. But what I do know is it's the playoffs, and that just means that we see completely different monsters in both players. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. They might be old, but they have the experience to do impressive things.
This is the Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. equivalent for football.
Mike Tyson.
Okay. We'll go ahead and jump into the breakdown. We're looking at quarterback, which is such a tough one for this matchup. But you know what? Brady had a sneaky good season, and I think it comes down to whether or not he's protected. But I don't think he's going to tank like he did the last time these two teams played. I think that they're going to build off of it. I think they're doing a lot of film review to see what went wrong the last time these two teams met up. So I'm actually going to take Brady on this one, but I could easily see Breeze winning this category. Mm-hmm. Ryan, we will go to you.
Okay. I'm going to say Tom Brady as well. 40 passing touchdowns on the season. Tied for second. Third in overall passing yards this season. And I know Breeze was injured, so yeah, he could have been up there as well. But I think postseason Tom is going to show through, and he's going to lead the team. A lot of passes, a lot of yards.
All right. Rovers, going to you for QB.
Yeah, thinking what both have done this season. Ryan, you mentioned it. Breeze has been injured part of the season, but Brady has been going, and he has been doing pretty well. So I think I'll take Brady through this as well.
Okay, so that is unanimous for Brady. Like I said, it's going to be really close. Breeze just honestly hasn't looked that good this year, even when he was healthy.
He hasn't.
And that's why most people speculate that he will be retiring at the end of the year. But also, Brady, you have to look at the fact that Brady doesn't have a Kamara, and I mean, he has not Michael Thomas. Breeze has Michael Thomas, but yeah, Brady does have Mike Evans, and he has Chris Godwin, he has Antonio Brown, but they don't have that Kamara, that monster that can you just hand the ball to him and just let him go to work. So we will go to running backs now, and like I just said, Kamara, I am taking...
Responsible not to take the Saints
Right.
with Rojo not practicing. I mean, Fournette's all right, and McCoy will play. So they're not terrible. I mean, the Bucs are not terrible at running back, but Salvin Kamara, I mean, he's going to be the top pick of fantasy next year. And then Murray, I mean, you could flex Murray all year as well. Just saying that they had good fantasy production, and they're both talented running backs.
All right, Rovers, are we in agreement?
Yeah, definitely Kamara for this one by a long shot.
Yeah. All right, wide receivers and tens. We just said it. Bucks have Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. I'm taking the depth there. Even Scotty Miller has had his days.
The Scooter?
So I'm taking them over Emmanuel Sanders, Michael Thomas, Jared Cook. I mean, I forgot to mention Gronk. Gronk's there too. So I'm taking the Bucks. Rovers, we're going to jump to you.
You're not taking Cook over the others? Yeah.
I'm going to let you be a tiebreaker.
The Bucks have so many weapons at tight end, along with their other like receiver options. It's gonna be hard for me to take the Saints, but for sure the Bucks definitely take this one.
All right, Ryan, you going to copycat both of us?
No, I'm going to pass. No, it's going to be the Bucs. Cameron Brate, though, you didn't mention him. Just straight up.
He's hurt, isn't he?
Is he?
I don't know. It's O.J. Howard that's out for the season. I might have gotten those two mixed up.
I didn't see him on the injury report, but yeah.
Okay.
I do think they have the better tight end. None of that Jared Cook nonsense.
Cook had his days. For fantasy, you're pretty much banking on Cook getting a touchdown. But that's what you were with any tight end this year. Unless you had one that's named Kelsey or Waller.
Ooh, Travis Kelce.
What a monster.
Yeah. Okay. Defense. I am going to go with the Saints. I think they're the better unit. Their front four is they just know how to get to Brady. I mean, they just know how to get to the quarterback in general. They're solid. They're good. And then you got Gardner Johnson, who got it against the Bears. He must be the greatest trash talker of all time. The fact that he can get so many different receivers to punch him. So Ryan, will go to you for defense.
Defense. Yeah, the Saints. And it's pretty close. Both have really good defenses, but the Saints have been consistent. The Saints always seem to show up or not. So I have a hard time picking the Saints. But Jason Pierre-Paul's out for the Bucs, so I think it's irresponsible. I don't pick the Saints.
For me, it's almost a coaching thing with the Bucs. The fact that they felt comfortable leaving Tyreek Hill single covered for an entire quarter kind of shows some questionable signs. So, Rovers, will go to you for defense.
I would say this one's rough. I would say, I mean, if we look at what Heineke was able to do with what he had and him being like a backup, I think the Bucs defense is vulnerable in some senses. They can definitely rush, but yeah, I'm going with the Saints in this.
Yeah, it's that secondary for the Bucs that's just really, really questionable.
Right.
Which is weird because they've had games where they look great. Like against the Packers, they look phenomenal. So it's a weird situation. All right, so we are tied in categories 2-2. So this will be the tiebreaker. We've got coaching, and on this one, I'm going to take Sean Payton. I think he's a little more proven. He's been with this team much, much longer than Bruce Arians has, and he's made less questionable calls, in my opinion. Ryan, we will go to you.
Yeah, I do want to say that Arians will make the game interesting.
He will.
Whether visually or by the plays that he calls.
All right.
I'm taking Saints.
Okay, Rovers?
Yeah, I think I mean, if you see what he was able to do with Taysom, like, a lot of people were questioning if Taysom was really going to be the quarterback, right? And so just, like, looking at what he was able to do has been impressive, and I think Sean Payton can come with this one. Saints, we go.
Okay. Saints are going marching in. So the Saints won 3 out of the 5 categories there. It's going to be close.
That's good. The spread had the Saints winning, so we're doing a decent job apparently.
Right, we're jumping into score predictions now, and this is where I get bold, and this is where I will probably get bold with my bracket. I need points. I am going to say 24-21, and I'm going to say the Buck. Well, it's bold. It's a tricky. I feel like Tom Brady.
I need to go first. My goodness, thought I was gonna be the here, but I am calling the Bucks as well. The score is going to be a little different, but, my goodness. I'm actually going to say 31-24. So I'm going to have them win by TD, the Bucks.
I had the Bucks winning by last-second field goal, by the way.
Okay. I'm winning by 10 then.
All right, Robers, are you a logical person? Because if you're logical, you won't side with me and Ryan.
This is what you feel. If you're right,
I think the score might be 35-31 when we're all said and done.
Who are you going to pick?
Don't succumb to the peer pressure.
Remember, you're the analyst that stands at the pinnacle of all other analysts.
I think Brady will take this one.
Okay.
Ooh,
we are
into peer pressure.
We root for the underdog on this podcast.
I think the reason Brady will take it is a lot has to do with him showing up in the playoffs. He has fallen before, but I think he's really trying to prove something this season, and a lot of that has been evident when he shows up and when that whole team as a whole come to play.
Well, I think the same thing, but for a different reason. I think the Saints won't show up. So
we'll see. It's a home game for the Saints, playing at the Superdome.
Yeah, it's gonna. That's just more heartbreak.
Are allowing fans at the Superdome, but I'm not totally sure. Okay, that does it for the two games that we were gonna go a little more in depth on. So the next two games we will do our breakdowns for. Got the Rams at the Packers. This will be this one. Once again, this one has potential to be a good one. Aaron Donald did not practice Tuesday or Wednesday. He is expected to play though. This is a Saturday game, Saturday afternoon, I believe. Good matchup to watch will be Adams versus Ramsey. So we'll jump into the breakdown. We'll go quarterback. I mean, I got to take Aaron Rodgers here, even though I hate it as a Bears fan.
Over Jared Goff?
Jared Broken Thumb Goff. I'll admit he looked fine last week, but Aaron Rodgers is on an MVP season, and it's a sad realization for this Bears fan. All right, Ryan. Wow me.
Aaron Rodgers, again, I mean, MVP, most TDs on the season. Yeah, I mean, be stupid not to pick Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. Robers, quarterback?
Yeah, we got to keep it simple here. It's Rodgers all day.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, running backs. I am actually going to go with Cam Akers on this one. Like I said, Cam Akers has looked great when they utilize him, and you can run on the Packers, so it's really more of a matchup thing, and the Rams have a much stronger run defense, in my opinion. All right, Ryan, here we go.
You're an idiot. Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams all the way.
Against Aaron Donald and the Rams?
Not even close. Aaron Donald's got whatever Aaron Donald's got. Some rib injury, didn't practice. He'll probably play, but not at 100%. I'm taking the Packers.
I saw it very
Aaron
close.
Jones and...
All right, I saw it very close, so I went with the better matchup.
So, yeah. Well, hey, it's fine. I mean, you're wrong, but,
All right, well, I mean, we're going to look at it. Like I said, you can run on Green Bay, so that's why I took it. And I really do trust the Rams defense now. They shut Russell Wilson and the Seahawks down. So, Robers, you are the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I mean, the Packers defense has been sketchy. But if we're looking at the running backs separately, I'm taking the Packers to go. You have Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, and then don't forget you have A.J. Dillon if they go down, and he was very impressive when he actually got the time to play. So, yeah, Packers for sure.
All right. I disagree, but that's the way it goes. All right, wide receivers and tight ends. This is, in my opinion, this is the toughest category in this game because you have Davante Adams, who is the best receiver in football this season, but he's going to be matched up against probably, arguably, the best corner in the league. So I think it's going to come down to Allen Lazard and MVS coming through for their team. It's such a tough call. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods against the Packers defense. Once again, I think I'm going to take the Rams here, just because I think the Packers are going to win most categories. So, well, you know what? They might not, because defense is out here. So, I'm going to stick with the Rams. I'm going to see what you guys have to say, though.
Okay. I'm going with the Packers.
All right.
Devonta Adams, MVS. Lazard was limited, but limited in practice, but he'll still show up. But the tipping point for me was big boy Tunyon. Robert Tunyon has gotten a TD in so many games this season for the Packers. I don't know what he finished, maybe 10 on the year or something. So
I think it's 11.
11 on the year. Oh, man. So I'm going with the Packers for their offensive weapons.
You know what? I didn't even think about tight end. I could be swayed to go to the Packers, but I'll stick with the Rams for now.
You already picked the Rams.
I'll stick with the Rams for now. All right, Rovers.
I did think it was going to be I was going to go with the Rams, and then I thought of Tunyon, and I was like, no. Got to go with the Packers.
It'll be interesting to see Davante Adams' game up against Ramsey. Trying to think of how many number one quarter or top tier corners have gone up against Adams this season. I'm having trouble coming up with one. So
he had some good.
Eddie Jackson.
Eddie Jackson's not a corner.
He played against Slay. When he played the Eagles or the Giants?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles. So he had that. He also, when he was playing the Colts, Adams has played some very good defenders.
Okay.
I think a lot of people are ignoring that. And he has been very productive while playing those. Fun fact stats that I learned was that I think Adams and what's his name? I just
Rodgers.
His name. No, the cornerback.
Lazard. Oh,
cornerback
for
the
Jalen
Rams.
Ramsey.
Ramsey, yes.
Ramsey.
I think Ramsey and Adams has played either once their whole career, and he can get it done. And I don't know, the Rams are still sketchy. They're not the offense that they were when they went to the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. So Green Bay takes that one. Also, Green Bay's coming right off their bye, so
yeah,
they're well rested up. I mean, sometimes the bye doesn't help a team. Sometimes they get out of rhythm, but yeah, I think it's fair to say they'll win the offensive categories. Okay, so defense, I'm taking the Rams. They finished as a very solid defense, so that's where I'm gonna go with them. Ryan?
Oh, you know me, I'm taking the Rams. Said last week I thought they were the number one defense on the season. But I will say the Packers finished in the top 10 for yards per game, meaning they were the 10th best on not allowing teams to get yards. So, surprisingly, they're not as bad as I originally thought. However, it's the Rams defense, so yeah, taking the Rams.
All right, Rovers?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams on this one as well.
Okay. We will go to coaching. This is a very close one as well. But I mean, it's McVay. He's good.
What about LaFleur?
McVay's better.
Who's older?
Younger. Respect your elders. McVay is younger, but
Is he?
proven. Yeah, McVay is proven to do more with less. And LaFleur has had Rodgers in his very young head coaching career this entire time. So, Rovers, Ryan is Googling coach ages right now.
Yeah, while you're looking up that statistic, I think McVay has been impressive in the things that he has been able to do, especially with what he did with the Seahawks this past weekend, has been very impressive. But I think LaFleur has been able to figure out how to make his offense work. A lot of people have been, judging the fact that they didn't really draft receivers when they needed them, or could use them as other options. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I will probably give Green Bay the slight edge over here, but it's very close for me.
Wow. What kind of Vikings fan? Ryan, the floor is yours.
They've dominated quite a while.
So Sean McVay is the ripe old age of 34, and LaFleur is 41.
Oh, is that the decision maker, you ageist?
Yep. Sean McVay.
You're a massive ageist. All right.
Sean McVay took him last week, take him this week. I mean, get his team to play at the level he does with the QB that I don't believe is amazing, but decent. So.
Okay. All right, we will jump to score prediction. This one I have 31-17 Green Bay.
Are we going to add another category, though? Trash talking. Rams win because they have Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah. I mean, it shouldn't make a huge difference, but Green Bay won 3 out of the 5 categories. Okay, Ryan, score prediction.
What'd you say?
31-17 Green Bay.
Oh, you picked Green Bay to win?
Yes.
Are you sure about that?
Pretty sure.
In Green Bay, though.
But I'm still pretty sure. Wait, no, that helps them.
Yeah. Oh, man. I really want to call the Rams to win this. I called the Rams against the Saints.
What do you mean?
Yeah, against Seattle.
No. Well, I messed up my bracket, and I had them playing the Saints this week.
Oh.
And, yeah, I chose them to win versus the Saints. But versus the Packers... throw it to Rovers. I'm still the same.
All right, Rovers.
I mean, yeah, when you're doing that comparison, looking at the Rams versus the Saints, you could see the Rams kind of inching out there, but I would say the Packers a lot to do with that field advantage. Hopefully, Jalen Ramsey doesn't get in Devontae Adams' head as much because, otherwise Aaron will really need some help in that case, but I'll give it the Packers 35-21.
All right.
The Rams.
Ryan, have you come up with a decision?
No, I don't want to. Okay. We're going to do Green Bay Packers 23, Rams 20. Oh. I want to say, I really want to call the upset, but, oh, man. I just don't know.
You're going to double up on upsets after the Bucks?
If Aaron Donald was not injured at all, I might take the Rams here just because their defense. But I'm taking Packers.
All right. You want to put money down?
I haven't yet. One of our good friends already did. So
No, I mean, side bet.
I bet we'll talk. Franklin or two in there.
I'll give you the stat line or whatever it is. Okay. Browns at Chiefs. Final game. Probably the least exciting game this week. I will say, I've been a Browns naysayer all year, and I will continue to be so. But I will say they looked good against the Steelers, but I still feel like in that game the Steelers beat themselves. I mean, they had lost all momentum after the very first box snap of that game. I also do want to point out real quick, Ben Roethlisberger's stat line is tremendous. Have you guys seen it?
Not recently.
I know he threw like 500 yards to that game or something like that.
He did throw 500 yards. But it's not just that. He has...
4 TDs?
Not 4 TDs. Well, actually, was it 4 TDs? I'm trying to find...
I want to say he either had 3 or 4.
Are you talking about for this past game?
But he also
Yes.
had like 3 or 4 interceptions as well to go with that.
Right. So 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 501 yards, and an NFL record, not postseason, not regular season, but combine them both. An NFL record, 68 pass attempts in one game.
Wow.
For a A man in his late 30s. What is he? 38 years old.
Yep.
67 pass attempts, or 68. We're shocked that his arm didn't fall off. 4 interceptions, 500 plus yards.
Sometimes you just gotta dish the rock.
But the thing is, he hasn't been throwing as far or as many deep balls as you think. A lot of them have been very quick and short passes. So, I mean, his arm wouldn't have fallen off if he was just doing that. To be honest.
Okay, is Roethlisberger coming back next year?
Yeah.
If the Steelers want him, is what he said.
Big Ben's coming back.
All right, it'll be tricky. Okay, so Browns and Chiefs. Not a ton of injury news. Not much of anything really. We'll get into the breakdown. Quarterback, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes, obviously. Ryan, going to you.
Mahomes. I don't think Mayfield's a good QB.
Wow, I agree.
I'm just gonna come out there and say it. Sometimes you just gotta be blunt, tear off a Band-Aid.
You gotta be honest, man. You gotta put it out there.
All right, Rovers.
Yeah, I'm going Mahomes. I mean, it's not really that much of a question. When they want to turn it on, they will turn it on. But there are quite a bit of did not participates in the Chiefs' corner though. As far as injury reports go, Sammy Watkins is a name of note as well.
Yeah. Okay. Running back. I mean, I gotta go with Le'Veon Bell and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They're just kidding. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. There is no better duo. We've said it multiple times on this podcast. Taking Cleveland. Ryan, going to you.
Yep.
Rober's going to you.
Yeah, I think the duo of Chubb and Hunt are just too phenomenal in this case. Not to mention, Clyde has been good, especially when his first game, but he's just been very up and down. Le'Veon is impressive, but not Chubb and Hunt impressive enough.
Right. I agree with that one. Wide receivers and tight ends. I mean, honestly, if OBJ were playing in this game, I could be swayed, but he's not. I go with Kansas City, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. Ryan.
What about Rashad Higgins? Number 82.
Who?
Rashad Higgins. And Austin Hooper, big ticket tight end this offseason. I mean, I'm still going with the Chiefs, but I mean, yeah. The Chiefs. Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and whatever third receiver Mahomes wants to include there. So.
All right, Rovers, we go to you.
That's funny. It is whatever receiver he wants to include. But yeah, the Chiefs has a very good, solid core of receivers, and they know when to get him out of trouble if he is in trouble.
Okay, we go to defense. I'm going to go with Cleveland on this one because they have the helmet madman himself, Myles Garrett, who had a great season. And I just don't trust the Chiefs' defense as a whole. This is kind of a close category, though. Ryan, go to you.
I'm gonna go. It was close. During the regular season, they had a better yards per game average than the Browns, albeit small. But Myles Garrett got in unlimited practice, so he might not be at 100%.
Does it affect his ability to pick up a helmet and smash someone with it?
Only, I mean, time will tell. I mean, we'll see.
Is it in his smash arm or his not smashing arm? Wait, is it an arm injury? I didn't even ask.
It does not say. It just says limited practice.
Yeah, okay. Rovers, defense?
Yeah, defense, it does have a slider edge for the Browns here.
Okay. Coaching, which is the tiebreaker. Surprising that Cleveland got 2 out of the 5 categories.
They're about to get 3.
No, they're not. Andy Reid over Kevin Stefanski.
Kevin Stefanski wasn't even there and his team won.
That is a true statement. But
Does that mean he's a good coach?
It means he did a good game plan and they followed it.
Andy Reid is one of the brightest offensive minds of the 21st century. I'm taking Andy Reid. Ryan, we're going to you.
No, Rovers, man.
All right, fine, Rovers, we go to you.
Dude, I'm going to Andy Reid on this one, man. He knows how to flip switch, man. Every time, like, so many reports that I see and hear, many people are like, you know what? The Chiefs may not cover, but they know how to flip that switch when they need to.
right, Ryan. How bold are you?
I'm going in and read it as well. I'm just being difficult.
I figured as much. All right, action. 35-20 in favor of the Chiefs.
48-25 Chiefs.
Wow. What's the over-under on this game?
-10 towards Kansas City.
Okay. Rovers.
All right, like I said, Chiefs do not cover very well, even though they're favored by 10. I'm going to say 42-35.
Okay.
48 points, Ron?
You feel a little bad? You only picked 30-some.
No, I don't. Not at all. All right.
You know who got 48 points this last week, right? Against one of the best defenses in the NFL?
The Browns.
Yeah, the Browns.
Yeah, the Steelers, like I said, the Steelers had no momentum. They beat themselves.
If the Steelers showed up that game, I would really want to argue that, but man, the Steelers were just bad that game. Like all around, defense and offense, they were just not showing up.
Sometimes you just got caught.
48. All right. We'll see. Okay.
I don't want to talk bold predictions last week.
Hawks having a good game because Russell Wilson is historically great in the playoffs.
That wasn't the prediction I was talking about, but okay.
Oh, Derrick Henry?
Yeah.
130 rushing yards against Baltimore. And that game actually was obvious. Baltimore said, hey, Derrick Henry beat us before. We're not going to let him beat us this time. If we're going to lose, we're going to lose because Tannehill beat us. And in the first quarter, it actually looked that way. Tannehill looked great in the first quarter. And then fizzled out.
Defend your pick. You're wrong.
I'm just saying, we call it a bold prediction. Derrick Henry had 3 200-yard games this year. Okay. So that is the last game. You guys want to talk anything else real quick about this weekend? Nothing?
Bold projection. Rams beat...
Rivers, any closing remarks?
Surprisingly, that game does have me a little worried, but I am a little worried about the Cleveland Chiefs game. I mean, even though I'm pulling for the Chiefs to win, I could kind of see if Cleveland pulls an upset here as well.
I'd be nuts if that happened.
That'd be insane.
But not unwarranted. I mean, last week, 50% of the teams that were underdogs came out victors. So it's been a weird season, and it's same thing for the playoffs. It's been weird playoffs. So what game are you guys looking forward to watching the most? I'm going to go Bills-Ravens.
Bills-Ravens, really?
I think it's going to be the closest scoring.
In the snow? Nah. Yeah, give me that Chiefs-Browns.
Looking forward to watching.
Dude, I like seeing points on the board. If you
one-sided.
want to see a game that finishes 7-3, yeah, I'll say Ravens-Bills.
What's wrong with a little defense here and there?
Actually, no, I want to see Bucs-Saints. See if the...
That's going to be good, too. It's going to be a good weekend.
See if the Saints actually show up.
Yeah. Robers, were you going to say Bucs-Saints?
Yeah, I was going to say Bucs-Saints.
My bad, Robes.
The Packers and Rams are a close second. I want to see if Rodgers can really withstand strong defenses that rush him very, very well.
Okay. Well, it'll be an interesting weekend. I did not enunciate there.
Interesting. How many syllables?
How many?
Oh, I wasn't counting. I was asking.
All right. Thanks to Rob showing up. One of the few people we got to show up in person. Look at you, Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb never went in person. I mean, you have to wonder if he actually cares about the podcast or not.
He doesn't.
Does he, though? Yeah, thank you for inviting me. This was really good.
Not
really
the hour and a half. Yeah. Yeah, you'll have to come out again sometime.
Definitely.
It's fun.
Invite me over and I'll definitely do it.
I mean, we have conference next week, so I mean...
We do have conference next week. All right, well, thanks for listening.